Good.
Supercell.
This meeting is being recorded.
Appreciate that. Thank you, random voice lady.
All right. So what I'm saying,
So we're talking about the Supercell with Michaels and Hogan.
right?
And so when I went to college, we didn't have you don't have access to everything on your fingertips like now when we went to college.
Right.
Like that only just came out as we were graduating. And so you still needed a TV and everything, a TV in your dorm, you needed to pay for cable and all that. And I just didn't have that. So I just fell out of watching wrestling. And that was right. I went to college in 2004, and that was briefly after the whole WCW fell and all of them started coming in and stuff like that. I missed so many good matches. I go back and watch them now, and I'm like, I hate the fact that I didn't really watch these, and I kind of fell out of watching wrestling at that point because I missed so many good matches and rivalries.
You missed about 6 or 7 years of still. It was the end of the Attitude into like the Brock Lesnar Evolution. You know what I mean? But even like Evolution, like that was all ending and over when Orton was coming up. But Orton and all them are like so big now, but like we never knew Orton and all them guys. Like we knew.
Well, I remember when he was first coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, we knew the beginning of Evolution. That was it.
Yeah. So, but I go back now and I watch some of those matches because I think they're great. Some of the matches I rewatch, like if I'm listening to the Steve Austin podcast or like The Rock references a match, I'll go back and like either listen to what they're talking about or watch it or something.
Yeah.
So, but Austin had Mick Foley on, and he was saying about how good of a promoter Foley was. And when we were younger, you didn't really know all the ins and outs like this, like unless you follow, you got the magazines and followed it. Like I didn't know babyface, heel, selling, and all this other stuff.
I didn't pay attention to it. Right.
I didn't know what any of that was, and I didn't know what the promoting was and all that. And he was saying like Mick Foley was like probably one of the best off the cuff promoters there was. And he goes and he asked him what promotion did he think was the best he's ever did. You know what he said? When he first introduced Cactus Jack, when he did Dude Love, Mankind, and then Cactus, I was like, yes. And I went back and watched it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was gold. That was gold in the way Hunter sold it as well. Like, because he had to sell that. If he didn't sell the image of Cactus Jack, that promo would have been nothing.
So let me I tell you a little backstory about that. Do you know how that all came about?
With Cactus and everything?
Yeah. So how did you
on that match or Cactus Jack in general?
Cactus Jack in general.
I do know.
No. I mean, for that match, like how he came, because that was his first debut in WWE.
Correct. No, I don't know why. Well, I think Mick talked about it a little bit, but I forget.
So, well, yeah. So I guess that they were all sitting in the room and they were talking about Mick, coming and for the title. And they literally said to him, like Mick was talking, he's like, I am I going to do, like they were talking about Mankind or something. And he remembers Vince McMahon walking over to him and said, Mankind can't win this match. Or something like that. And he's like, Mick's like, he said it was the only time in his, like, he was like creeped out. But like Vince was like eerily close to his face, very creepy. And he's like, who has to win this match. And like, I think Mick said at that moment was the first time he never even imagined that Vince McMahon would want to debut Cactus Jack because,
yeah,
it wasn't their guy. And but that was he was, and like it's funny how of all the people that the WWE embraced, I think they did a pretty good job with Mick.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he gave it to him for them. Yeah. He put his body on the line for that, but
yeah. Well, and that's all thanks to JR. A lot of the good talent that was in during the Attitude Era was from JR recruiting people.
Right.
and he pushed for Mick Foley a lot. And Steve always tells the story that Vince was like, "All right, bring him in, whatever, but we're covering up his face because he's ugly."
Yeah.
You know that, right? With Mankind,
Yes.
that leather mask was supposed to be a mask the Undertaker wore when he broke his nose, but then
Yeah.
he went with that Phantom of the Opera type thing.
Yeah.
And so they still had that mask, and that's what led to Mankind's mask, is that they gave it to Mick Foley to become Mankind in.
I did hear something like that. I did hear something like that. I actually, so it's funny, you were talking about, so Andy Header, right?
Of course, I know who Andy is.
Right. So
Keep
well,
up.
I'm saying I reached out to Andy Sunday, and I had a thought that I want to bring wrestling into the racquetball club.
Are you still a part of that racquetball club?
I still have keys. I don't know what I could go there right now, open the entire building, and I can open every door. So will you tell me? I don't know.
Did you know that Andy Heather held the heavyweight championship for a while?
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, listen here. So anyway, so I talked to Andy Hitter and I said, listen, I have an idea I think it'd be cool to get a wrestling event in the racquetball club. And he's like, I have no idea about that. I don't know anybody in there. I'm like, no, you're not understanding. I think it would be a perfect venue. I'm the guy in there, sort of, I guess. I said, who can I talk to that looks for venues to book these shows? I said, I don't know what. I said, I'll work my best to make sure that you get a good price, so we can make this all happen. That's all I care about. I'm not here to make money. I'm just here to find a cool place for wrestling to be closer to Pottsville, so we all can, I'm going to start going to these local events. Like I'm going to start going, and I'm almost going to I'm almost thinking about becoming a character. So like they don't just do wrestlers, they do managers and promoters and stuff like that. So like I'm thinking about just doing it, starting a brand for myself and just making it me, making my brand who I am, and just being everywhere as obnoxious as I can be, and let it be that.
I mean, that's not even a character for you.
Exactly.
You'd be so good at it.
Show the fuck up in my clothing. Done. I mean,
you'd be like, I'm the booker.
Yeah, right. Booker. I like Booker. So I but anyway, so I said something. So he hit me up and he gave me the guys that does PPW or whatever, one of the bigger ones in the area.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna reach out and I'm gonna say, my goal, I'm still telling you, man, by the time I'm 50, I still want to buy that. Like guys, and if people are like, well, what's your plan? I don't have a plan. So I don't have that yet. But I do. I think it is the ultimate place where we are, that I can envision everything happening all year. Just the events that would happen for the community, for sports, for everything. I just but anyway, so if we get wrestling going around here, that'd be cool.
I would still love to get in a ring and just have a match, man.
Yeah.
I would love that so much.
Stay in shape. That's all I tell you.
Stay in shape. I think I'm doing okay with that.
Right. So if we're 40,
I'm excited because I'm not bound to Planet Fitness anymore. Sorry, Brad. The Planet Fitness is it's those Smith machines. It's just not. Yeah. So like, here's an example. So you know what the Smith machine is, right? With the bars. Yeah. So people use them and like they lift heavy.
Right.
You cannot lift the same amount of weight on a free bar than what you do on a Smith machine, because the Smith machine is an assistant machine. But it's like the equivalent of doing a squat compared to doing a leg press.
Right.
So it's not the same. You're not activating all the muscles.
Right.
Case in point, I was deadlifting. Well, deadlifting would be a bad example. I was squatting probably 240, 250. And when I got on a free bar, my first time, I didn't go above 200. So it knocked 40 to 50 pounds off my squat. And all I did was just go from a Smith machine to a free bar. And it's like that with everything that you do on a Smith machine. But I love the fact that I don't have to use one now. What?
You have a gym there?
Yeah. Oh, I love my gym. Man, I took that picture and sent it to you the one morning. You text me at like 6. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but like,
I'm at the gym.
how do you find that? Just
Oh, it's right on the main road. It's right down the street. It's 5 minutes from my house.
nice.
So, yeah, it's just a little gym, but I really like it. It has everything that I want. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
I don't know. I think it'd be perfect to kind of get I would love to get into a place like that. They actually, one of the courts they took out and they put in like it's almost like I guess it's CrossFit type shit. But they
Yeah.
laid all these things down. She's just wasting them. She's wasting it.
yeah. Well, she's just trying to expand her reach to, instead of being like one gym that's known for being racquetball, she's trying to expand and get all these different people in now.
I told
But
her
the
how to
problem
do it.
is a lot of those different people don't like working out with each other.
I told her
Powerlifters don't like working out with CrossFitters. CrossFitters don't like working out with runners. Runners don't like working out with the people who are there just to play racquetball and have it be a social club. They really all don't like working out together. So at the end, it's not going to benefit probably.
but that's why I said, like, I told her you just that space, all you do is turf it, fix the
Yeah.
roof, lift the lights, done. I will have that motherfucker booked all year for
Yeah.
everything. I can
Yeah.
still put wrestling in there. I can have
Indoor soccer.
soccer. I can have soccer tournaments. It's that big. I can have 2 games at one. I mean, she doesn't understand. This area is built on sport. And at the end of the day, you know what I want to do there? I still want to do it now, regardless of. And Ash is always like, well, why are you trying to promote things? And I'm like, because I still think it's the perfect, I think you could have a concert there. So I think that the way it's set up, you've never been in there, but you go in the main doors, you walk up the steps into a lobby. That lobby has big, like floor to like wall or floor to ceiling windows that look out into the rack to the courts.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have a concert, you literally could put the stage all the way at the end, still fill all the seats in there, and then you could have seats up inside where people could leave to go up and get beers, because there's a bar up inside. There's a
Or you
bar.
make that the VIP loft.
There's a bar up there though, but like
Yeah.
you could even put a little bar station down there so people, right, the bathrooms, the doors to leave where the locker rooms are right through there. You walk through the door and I could charge people to come to play their music. Like I could charge people to have the event there, and then I can charge people to come in. Then I can charge people to buy beer. She's like, what do you mean? What? I just like,
Yeah. Pottsville just had Lee Bryce there.
Yeah.
My sister posted a picture like enjoying Lee Bryce, and I'm like, what is Lee Bryce doing in Pottsville?
He's sponsored by Yingling.
I mean, he had to be there. He had to be. A lot of times things like that it's on their way to a show, so they stop in. What I mean?
He's sponsored by Yingling. So in the contract, they have Pottsville now every year has this lager event every summer. So they have this big, huge, they shut down downtown Pottsville for the day. It's a big drink fest.
Oh, okay.
So they've done it for like 3 years and it keeps getting bigger. So when Yingling sponsored him in the contract, they said that you need to do a concert at Pottsville.
So that brought in some good revenue for the weekend.
The contract was probably like $3 million. Like they paid big money to him to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as the town goes, that brings in a lot of revenue and recognition for the town. That's what the biggest problem we have here already.
Hold on. I'm getting Jimmy.
Oh, you walking out? So for anybody who wants the inside scoop on the dirty on Mark Anthony, let's just start with this. He is secretly an Eagles fan. He will say that he's not and that he's a 49ers fan, but that is not true. He's actually an Eagles fan. He doesn't have anything related to the 49ers. Doesn't know anything about the 49ers. He would say, oh, hey.
Hey. What don't I know? What?
Nothing.
Go ahead. Tell me what say what you gotta say.
I wasn't saying anything. I was just sitting here hanging out, man.
I don't know something about the 49ers or something. What?
We were just, I was just talking with the fan base.
Who's the fan?
Well, anyway, the thing with Pennsville is that there's nothing for people to come here for. You know what I mean? Like they need that.
Isn't there like anything to do at the water and shit?
No, it's crazy. Like they don't have anything. Like there's nothing here. And then people are like, oh, well, someone said to me, well, they were talking to Olive Garden to build an Olive Garden downtown in Pennsville, but they didn't want to. Well, yeah, of course not, because there's no reason for people to go into Pennsville. You don't need restaurants. You need activities. Put a movie theater or a bowling alley or something. You got to put something that's going to draw people down into the city or down into the town. But, with Lee Bryce coming, that's good. Like maybe it makes people say, hey, this is a night, you have some people that are following Lee Bryce, some business people, and they see the town and maybe they have a startup business and they're looking to expand and they say, this isn't a bad town. It's on the highway. It's accessible, stuff like that, and Yinglin's right here. So there's a tourist spot where people are coming in. Maybe you entice some businesses to come in there, There's so much potential. One of the things that I don't like, well, I won't say, it's not that I don't like it, but it kind of saddens me. Like you look at a town like Pottsville and you see all the potential and you feel like nothing's being done with it.
Okay.
I feel like Pottsville has a lot of potential to become a great city again.
Hold on. Do you remember Savis Logothaitis? Remember that name from high school?
No, you keep asking me that. The answer is unequivocally no. I don't remember things.
Anyone who went to school.
Well, I remember some of them, but like Mark, remember you were a lot more popular than I was.
First of all,
I knew you.
I was not popular. Listen, all right. So
you were more popular than me.
Hold on, listen. Anyway, so he owned, his dad owned the Famous. The Famous was a catty corner from Roma, the bar that died.
Yes. It's not there anymore though. Is it?
No.
Okay.
He I don't know what he did after school. He might have went to business school. I don't know what he did after high school, Savis. But at some point he almost 100% positive that he bought the Strikers or somehow acquired Strikers, the bowling alley, Westwood, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Turned it into Strikers, basically created what it is now. I assume sold it. I don't know how. I don't fault, but I got to get more into researching what I'm actually paying attention to. But anyway, so he, that was his business. I think he sold it off. He took his dad's bar and now it's the Wheel. That grilled cheese.
That's where the Wheel is?
That's the Wheel.
When people talk about the Wheel, they make it sound like it's like on a road outside of town. I didn't know it was right downtown, right across from Roma.
Literally catty corner to Roma.
Okay.
So he's been an integral part at building up Pottsville. There's like a full-on Pottsville downtown business kind of thing that they're doing over the last probably, I would say 3 to 5 years. They're really trying to
That's
build.
awesome.
Yes. They've that entire downtown. Do you know what's in? You remember Roma was here. The Wells Fargo was down around the corner.
Yeah.
That's not a Wells Fargo anymore. That's a marijuana dispensary. I mean, that's mine as well, but it's across from that. There was bars there, but it's Crimson House, which is more of an upscale type of bar. Very Like when you go in there and you order like a fancy drink, they literally make it fancy. Like they crush the shit and they, fancy glasses and fancy ice, and they actually know what they're doing. So, but then right next to that, they built it's like a sports bar, but it's not like dive. It's a little divey because it's dark, but it's TVs everywhere. Upstairs is like kind of what, so it seems like they're really trying to get that whole heart of center and market built up. Zach Reichert basically got done in the military after I think he did his 20 years and finally retired. And he was a cook and everything. He started helping one of the people, I think one of the sons of Bob Weaver is in the business as well, part of this whole thing. Bought a couple businesses, coffee place up the street from Roma, Black Rock, which was the old YWCA, the really old looking building on Center there before you're leaving town, kind of big, huge, old looking. There's a big fence with
the Armory.
Yes. No, the Armory was actually the Y down by the old Giant.
Yes.
But no. This one is the other one. If you go the other way towards like Piccadilly, almost to Piccadilly, there's that big, huge. That was the old YWCA before we were in school. It was an old
Piccadilly. Whew.
Remember Piccadilly?
That was one of those places I found by accident because I didn't know Pottsville had a road that went out there.
What? You grew up here. Here. Let me explain. Okay.
Like you said, Piccadilly is like the last door before you leave Pottsville.
Here, let me explain something. If I remember correctly, if I remember correctly, let me think. I believe I'm right. Right behind where I'm talking about, this big structure that's the YW. Up the hill behind it, I'm pretty sure is where you lived for quite a little while.
You're talking about the Henry Clay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Juvie Center. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's you should know where the fuck I'm talking about then. Okay.
That's how I found it. It was down below.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
I walked down the steps one day. I was like, oh, that's there.
Oh my God. But they turned that into a bar, and it's really upscale. It's very, very millennial kind, but I'm telling you, Zach's doing a good job. He bought a sub shop down the street on Center Street, Farlow's.
See, I drove through when I went up to go to camping at Rosemont. I drove through Pottsville, but I didn't really go downtown like that. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
I did notice though, because I went out by Peacock Street and went out back, took that back road, that led you up to Bull's Head there.
Yeah.
And I think I saw that the Maroon wasn't up anymore. The Pottsville Maroon restaurant that was next to Becker Roofing.
They ripped the whole building down.
Why?
That's been years.
Didn't Roma own that?
Do
you see, the last time I was in that building, it was for my nan's funeral. That was a long, long time ago.
All right. So this is how good they are. I'm pretty sure this is how it went down. So the guy who owned Maroons, couldn't do it anymore, whatever, wasn't making it. And had to get out. Now, when he went to sell, there's two different things I think could happen. Number one is he sold an unknown buyer and they bought it, and that's it. Number two is he knew who was buying it, but didn't have a choice, or was told something that how you want to pass a business along. But if you're looking, it's going to die either way, then what's the point? But anyway, they bought it, I believe, just to let it die in terms of nobody could start a business. Like, I thought that they were going to buy it to use it all as a second location. They bought it so nobody could use it.
So Roma bought it and then just let it die.
Basically,
and then tore it down.
didn't do a business. They bought it, had the building assessed, realized it was under a certain thing, lost some money in the demolition, but kind of ate some of that through tax or something. But they did it just so they're like, hey, we're just going to make sure nobody else can do it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, because I think that was the first time that they had felt any type of, I don't think they had competition there really, but I think that was the first time anybody tried to do it.
Speaking of Roma, I've always talked about how good their pizza was growing up there. I know you said it's not the best anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you this right now. When you come visit me, we will go to Roman Pantry is the name of it in Carney's Point. I actually put it on my food blog on Facebook. It is hands down the best. Hands down the best. Even better than a New York slice, man. It is the best pizza I've ever had, unquestionably.
What's it called?
The name of the restaurant's called Roman Pantry.
I'll tell you.
ROMAN. Roman Pantry. It is amazing.
Are you on the One Bite app?
The One Bite? No.
It's a pizza app.
Oh, okay.
And all you do is every place that you can buy a pizza, slice of pizza, anywhere pizza, people do reviews. And it's just this big map where it's literally, you can't see any of that.
No, I just see your light on your screen.
Carney's Point. Let me see here. Is that by you now? Where's it at? Carney's Point?
Yeah, it's where I live now.
Okay, Carney's Point.
Dude, I go there probably 1 to 2 times a week. And everything is just so good. It's unbelievable.
I see Pennsville. Where's Carney's Point at?
Carney's Point is north of Pennsville.
Like a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit. Or Penns Grove.
Oh, there, Carney's Point. Okay, what's it called?
Roman Pantry.
I want to see if it has a good.
It should. The pizza's amazing.
Spiros? What's Spiros?
Never had it.
I don't see it on my One Bite app. That's not good.
I guess no one's reviewed it except for me on my Facebook page. Go to the Food Hunt Facebook page.
Listen to you.
You got to promote, baby.
All right, what is it called again?
My Facebook blog is called The Food Hunt.
No, what's the... Touche.
You like that?
Yeah, that was good. I'm gonna keep going to that then. That's good. Jesus.
No, it's called where's my pages at here? It's the food it's Roman Pantry.
Yeah, I got it right here. Carney's Point Roman Pantry.
But why is it There we go.
I'm gonna have
Everybody
to.
who sees this, you need to go to there on Facebook and like and share.
I already liked and share. What are you talking about?
Everybody else, if you put this out on, if you go ahead and put the video up, it's the first one, Roman Pantry, right?
I am. Can I do that on here though?
I don't know how you'd share your screen.
Running out of time.
Again.
Oh,
Jeez. That's okay. It's getting late.
Yeah.
So, all right, you want to talk sports?
Yeah. I'm looking.
Eagles look good.
Yo, I think I was literally watching it, and there was I think the point where he threw that. No, it was the touchdown run. Right?
Which one, the 3-yard or 20-yard?
20-yarder. And I thought, I wasn't like, I was impressed and all that, but I thought like the way he kind of, even when he turned to stretch, like, I think the awareness was so like, hey, I got the first step. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't even trying to stretch for a touchdown. It was just all like in the moment, calm, very like, oh, turn it up, nobody's here. Okay, put the ball. Like it was just so good.
Yeah.
And I felt like I really feel like you guys have the franchise guy.
Yeah.
And he's a worker.
Well, that's the thing. To me, the most impressive thing I've seen from him over 3 years of watching him is his football IQ keeps going up.
Yep.
He's not making the same mistakes. He's learning on the fly. You know, the whole, like you said, that 20-yard run, it looked like he was about to go out of bounds. And then he just looked and said, oh, well, I could score this touchdown. So why don't I just go for the touchdown?
Didn't it look
Like he wasn't like that
slow
wasn't his
motion?
plan, but it was there. So he took it.
If I could equate it to like when we were younger, I was like, he was the kid that was 2 years older and like just smoked like a joint. So like everything was so like I almost felt like when he was out there, like you said, he was doing everything slow. You know how like even Pat Mahomes sort of does it, these guys, but he was just like, oh, I was gonna do this, but now I'm gonna do this. That's why I said even when I watched him at first, I was like, oh man, he was fighting for that touchdown. He wasn't. He was like, oh, I got this. I'm gonna shield this guy. I'm gonna just go down. And as he's turning, I remember he turned his head and he's like, nobody. Oh, like it was not an overly aggressive young, like even Cam Newton, he still plays that way. It's like I was just overly impressed by his maturity, his patience, all of it.
Well, the one thing I always been impressed with him is his accuracy. Sometimes he could really pinpoint the ball, and he was showing that. So I think he has a chance. I think he has the ability, and there's a good team around him. He has the ability. It's still 2 games into the season. You never know. But
they win the division.
Well, I haven't seen the other teams play, but with the Cowboys, with Dak being well, the Cowboys suck. So whatever.
Thank you.
They always suck. I don't care if Dak's playing or not. They're Cowboys are what they are, which is a hot mess until Jerry Jones gets out of his own way. So even if the Cowboys win the division, we're not doing anything. Carson Wentz looks good 2 games for the Commanders. Looks good for I personally liked Washington football team. That's what they should have kept. Yeah, but I haven't seen the other teams play, so I don't know, but I know the Eagles look good. I know their offensive, and it all goes to the trenches. The offensive line in that Monday night game, manhandled, dominated. And when they started highlighting some of the things Kelsey was doing, Kelsey had a fantastic game. So like I said, I think, do you think that they can, do they win 12 games? I think they win 12 games. I have to look at their schedule, but if the way they played against the Vikings and the Lions, I would say, yeah, they can win 10 to 12 games. Sure. Because even at the end of the game, when teams start to come back, what happened? The defense showed up and sealed the deal with turnovers. So, and he just kept running the clock out. So, I liked everything about it. I liked the play calling. I liked the play. I liked the offense and defense. So, I personally think that Boston Scott should be the starting running back, but that's me.
Let me ask you a question. What's your, is your entire Sunday always booked the whole thing?
No, I'm normally home by 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock most days.
So then what are you doing on Sundays?
What do I do on Sundays? It all depends. A lot of times we plan, so this Sunday I'm going to be down at an in-laws celebrating a birthday party. This past Sunday, I had some interns come down, and then so I took them out to lunch afterwards. The Sunday before that, I was at Lisa's parents visiting because her aunt was up from Florida. So Sunday's typically a day where we're doing stuff, and it's typically a day where we're going to travel to hang out with people. So I'm normally not watching football all day Sunday unless I'm at a house where I can watch football.
Here's what I think we should do. I think that we should make a point to have a watch party on Facebook every Sunday every Eagles game. Let's just say Eagles because it'll be easier. So can you get all the Eagles games, right? I assume.
I believe so.
You're
I stream everything, so I could probably just get the NFL app.
What I was thinking was, even if we're somewhere, let's do our best, right?
Yeah.
I want to do it like a Peyton, like a Manning type of thing.
Oh my gosh. Yo, I gotta tell you, did you see the Eli Manning?
Yes.
It go to Penn State as a walk-on?
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah. Well, when he was psyching himself out to run the 40, I was dying.
Did you see when he started slinging the rock after then?
Yeah, and they're like, this kid got a pretty good arm.
Yeah, and then
the footwork, man, he looks pretty good.
Yeah, the some of the players were like, it's gotta be, like, they were saying like it's gotta be him, because they were, what I mean, like when you see footwork, there's only certain people that do that. You know what I mean? I thought it was terrific.
Oh yeah, it was great.
But I was watching. Do you ever watch them two on Monday Night Football?
I haven't, but I loved watching some of Peyton's stuff that he's done before, but I haven't watched both of them.
Oh my God, dude! All they do is they basically, and this is what we'll do. We'll post the game, so the game will be live on the screen, and we'll be two little screens, and we'll just be talking about the game as it's going on. And they're so funny because they make fun of each other, or pick on each other, or something like somebody said something like Peyton said, oh, and they'll bring guests on too, but they were saying something. Peyton said, they booed Russell Wilson the other night. Seattle did on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
And they're booing him. And Eli's like, Peyton goes, Eli goes, Peyton, he goes, have you ever been personally booed? He's like, this isn't like Seattle's booing Denver. Seattle is booing Russell Wilson. And Peyton's like, yes, I hear them. Yes. He's like, I don't think I have. He's like, I know you have. I know. He's like, the Chargers booed the shit out of you. I know that. That's what he said. And then Eli's like, oh, yeah. My rookie year, he's like, they hated me. But it's just very funny. They're just bullshitting about it. So.
Oh, geez. That is hilarious.
All right.
Do you see the countdown clock?
Yes, I do. So I'm cool with this. Listen, I'm cool with trying to stick to a time and just going through. Yeah. And like I said, if we do more, but I would love to do I would love to do that. You know what I mean? If we could watch the game from where you are and I am, who cares?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can figure it out.
No, it's fun just making it up on the fly and just talking about stuff and just having a fun time.
I agree.
So,
all right, brother.
All right. Well, I guess are we going to do a 30-second countdown? Or are we staying on until they kick us off, or?
No, we'll just end it.
So, well, no, I got to tell you. So you kind of proved my point on what I said after you walked away, because we started talking.
Let me see if I stop the recording, if it matters.